Good morning, students. Next, we're going to understand two important concepts, namely factor cost and market price. First, you should know the meaning of factor cost. There are a number of inputs that are included into a production process when producing goods and services. These inputs are commonly known as factors of production and include things such as land, labor, capital, and entrepreneurship. Production of goods and services incur a cost for using these factors of production. These costs are ultimately added onto the price of the product. The factor cost refers to the cost of production that is incurred by the firm when producing goods and services. What is factor cost? Will be in 2 mark question, mark it. Example of such production cost include the cost of renting machines, purchasing machinery and land, paying salaries and wages, cost of obtaining capital, and the profit margins that are added by the entrepreneur. The factor cost does not include the taxes that are paid to the government, since taxes are not directly involved in the production process and therefore are not part of the direct production cost. However, subsidies received are included in the factor cost, as subsidies are direct inputs into the production. Here you should know the meaning of subsidies. What is subsidies? Subsidies is the money that the government pays to help an organization or to keep the cost of service low. Then move on to market price. Once goods and services are produced, they are sold in a marketplace at a set market price. The market price is the price that consumers will pay for the product when they purchase it from the sellers. Taxes charged by the government will be added into the factor price, while subsidies produced will be reduced from the factor price to arrive at the market price. Taxes are added and because taxes are cost that increase the price. The subsidies are reduced because subsidies are already included in the factor's cost and cannot be double counted when market price is calculated. Thus, MP equal to FC plus indirect tax minus subsidies, equation 1, or FC equal to MP minus indirect taxes plus subsidies, equation 2. National income at NNP at factor cost equal to gross value added by all the production enterprise within the domestic territory of the country minus depreciation minus net indirect taxes plus net factor income from abroad, where net indirect taxes is equal to indirect tax minus subsidies. Gross value added is equal to value of output minus intermediate consumption. Value of output equal to sales plus change in stock, where change in stock equal to closing stock minus opening stock. Note: if entire output is sold within the year, then value of output will be equal to sales itself, or value of output equal to price multiplied by quantity sold. GDP at market price is equal to private final consumption plus government final consumption expenditure plus gross domestic capital formation plus net exports, that is exports minus imports. Next, going to learn the importance of national income. National income is of great importance for the economy of a country. Nowadays, the national income is regarded as accounts of the economy, which are known as social accounts. It enables us to know the relative importance of the various sectors of the economy and their contribution towards national income. From the calculation of national income, we could find how income is produced, how it is distributed, how much is spent and saved or taxed. Second, to formulate the national policies such as monetary policy, fiscal policy, and other policies, the proper measures can be adopted to bring the economy to the right path with the help of collecting national income data. Third, to formulate planning and evaluate plan progress, it is essential that the data pertaining to a country's gross income, output, saving, and consumption should be available for economic planning. To build economic models both in short run and long run. And next, to make international comparison, inter-regional comparison, and intertemporal comparison of growth of the economy during different periods. And to know a country's per capita income, which reflects the economic welfare of the country, provided income is equally distributed. Next, to know the distribution of income for various factors of production in the country. To arrive at many macroeconomic variables, namely tax GDP ratio, current account deficit GDP ratio, fiscal deficit GDP ratio, debt GDP ratio, etc. The importance of national income will be in 3-mark question, or sometimes may ask the uses of national income. We don't have any separate siding, that is uses of national income. So you can write both, that is importance of national income as well as uses of national income. You can write the same answer, mark it. Next, going to learn difficulties in measuring national income. In India, a special conceptual problem is posed by the existence of a large unorganized and non-monetized subsistence sector where the barter system still prevails for transacting goods and services. Here, a proper valuation of output is very difficult. The difficulties are the difficulties in measuring national income. First one, transfer payments, difficulties in assessing depreciation allowance, unpaid services, income from illegal activities, production for self-consumption and changing price, capital gains, statistical problems. Let us see the difficulties one by one. First one is transfer payment. This will be in 2-mark question, mark it. Government makes payment in the form of pensions, unemployment allowance, subsidies, etc. These are government expenditure, but they are not included in the national income because they are paid without adding anything to the production process. During a year, interest on national debt is also considered transfer payments because it is paid by the government to individual and firms on their past saving without any productive work. Next difficulty is difficulties in assessing depreciation allowance. The deduction of depreciation allowances, accidental damages, repair and replacement charges from the national income is not an easy task. It requires high degree of judgment to assess the depreciation allowance and other charges. Next, unpaid services. A housewife renders a number of useful services like preparation of meals, serving, tailoring, mending, Mending here we mean repair something that is damaged or broken. Washing, cleaning, bringing up children, etc. She is not paid for them, and her service are not directly included in national income. Such services performed by paid servants are included in national income. The reason for the exclusion of her service from national income is that the love and affection of the housewife in performing her domestic work cannot be measured in monetary terms. Similarly, there are a number of goods and services which are difficult to be assessed in money terms for the reasons stated above, such as rendering services to their friends, painting, singing, dancing, etc. Income from illegal activities. Income earned through illegal activities like gambling, smuggling, illicit extraction of liquor, etc., is not included in national income. Illicit means not allowed by law by the rules of the society. Such activities have value and satisfy the wants of the people. Uh, but they are not considered as productive from the point of view of the society. Then, production for self consumption and changing price. Farmers keep a large portion of food and other goods produced on the farm for self consumption. The problem is whether that part of the produce which is not sold in the market can be included in national income or not. This will be in 2 mark question. Question number 27. National income by product method is measured by the value of final goods and services at current market price. But prices do not remain stable. They rise or fall. To solve this problem, economists calculate the real national income at a constant price level by the consumer price index. Then capital gains. The problem also arises with regard to capital gains. Capital gains arise when a capital asset such as a house, other property, stocks or shares, etc. is sold at a higher price than was paid for it at the time of purchase. Capital gain are excluded from national income. Next, statistical problem. What is the statistical problem we face while estimating national income? There are statistical problems too. Great care is required to avoid double counting. Statistical data may not be perfectly reliable when they are compiled from numerous sources. Skill and efficiency of the statistical staff and cooperation of people at large are also equally important in estimating national income. The following are some of the statistical problems. This will be in 3 mark question. Mark it. First one, accurate and reliable data are not adequate as farm output in the subsistence sector is not completely informed. In animal husbandry, there are no authentic production data available. Authentic here we mean true or accurate. Different languages, customs, etc. also create problems in computing estimates. Third, people in India are indifferent to the official inquiries. They are in most cases non-cooperative also. Fourth, most of the statistical staff are untrained and inefficient. Therefore, national income estimates in our country are not very accurate or adequate. There is at least 10% margin of error, that is, national income is overestimated or underestimated by at least 10%. That is why the GDP estimates for India varies from 2 trillion US dollar to 5 trillion US dollar. I hope you all understand about the importance and difficulties in measuring national income. Uh, Difficulties in measuring national income, all the side heading is very important. So mark it. This will be a 2 mark or 3 mark question. Thank you.